Welcome, this is Rowan Stone here with the Zencash bi-weekly community update on the 7th of March. Now, if you're wondering why it's me speaking and not Rob or Rolf, both guys are presenting at the Seraph Global Investment Group in Austin, Texas, today and tomorrow. So we're going to do the best we can without them and crack on in the usual way. So to start things off, we're going to give a shout out to two upstanding members of our community that have been a huge help in the past couple of weeks. We have Konstantin Kachanov, who was a big help to both David and Alex at the booth they had in Moscow. Ended up spending 10 hours on the stand, absolutely non-stop, so huge thanks to you. We also have Zhenhan Yu, who was a great help in translating our website into Chinese, so massive thank you for that. If anyone out there knows of somebody or has seen something that's above and beyond the Call of Duty, please feel free to reach out to Zenchik on Discord, and we'll make sure they get the shout out they deserve in the next bi-weekly. So we're now going to move on to the main announcement for this week's slide deck, and that is our partnership with Indacoin.com. Now, Indacoin is a platform that allows the purchase of Zen in USD, rubles, and euros with both debit and credit cards. They also offer exchange services, multi-coin mobile wallets, and have a facility to sell crypto back to fiat. Unfortunately, at the moment, it is not open to anyone in the US. They're running into a little bit of regulatory issues. However, they're working through that, and they're hoping to have it back open to US users late this year. So check it out on Indacoin.com. There's an app on Android and also on the iOS store. Really, really great for us. It's now the easiest way to jump into the Zencash ecosystem and get your hands on some Zen. So really happy about that. Moving on to development. So we have 3 slides to get through on the development side today. Our team have been crazy busy for the past 2 weeks, working some ridiculous hours in order to fix a few different bits and pieces and push out some updates. So as a reminder, Zen 2.0.11 is now out. The previous release will auto-deprecate on April 10th. So if you haven't updated already, please do that as soon as you can. The latest update fixes the indexing issue we had affecting Swing wallet users. List unspent now differentiates Coinbase transactions, and the pool operators among you will be really happy to know that Zed Shield Coinbase has now been merged from upstream. We've also got the new logo and sorted out some compatibility issues for High Sierra. And of course, if you're a Swing wallet user, there's the Linux and Windows releases ready to go now as well. So like I say, please update as soon as you can. On the core development side, we're testing 6 new upstream version updates. They are still in DevNet, but we're looking to move over to testnet in the next couple of weeks. We're also working on a hard fork manager, which is really important as that will allow us to execute software hard forks in a much cleaner and more professional way going forward. This year, 2018 for Zencash is all about radical usability. So our main focus on the development front, certainly for user-facing, is our wallets. We're looking to massively professionalize and make everything much more consistent across the different platforms. So we'll have a new full node, light client, web wallet, and mobile wallet coming out reasonably soon. We previously said that this would be done in kind of 6 sprints of 2 weeks each. That's the first 2-week sprint done and out of the way. It's went really, really well. The guys have completed the back-end database design, and they've already started work on individual wallet developments. So that's really good progress and really good news. On the secure node system front, V2. So V2 is where we're moving our tracking and payment systems from segregated into on-chain. So really big deal for the architecture and the way it's all going to work going forward. It'll be much slicker. So continue on-chain design specs. If you're on Discord, you've probably noticed already that we now have a tipping bot in beta. So it's working. It is in beta. I want to remind people of that. But if you see somebody doing some good, you now have the ability to give them a tip, which is really, really cool. We've also merged a Twitter bridge to Discord for anybody that doesn't want to sign up with a Twitter account. So you can now keep a tab on what's happening and what's trending in Zencash on the Twitter Discord channel. We also have a specialized team working through the Xenomp mining software efficiency improvement project. So they're looking to see what efficiencies can be made by simply tweaking or even completely rewriting that piece of software. So that's quite a big project that's ongoing in the background. And then we have ZenHelp. So ZenHelp is still in beta. The guys have done a really good job of getting it off the ground. We've had a good level of involvement from the community. People are now getting quick answers to problems they're facing. The next step for us is to really start to piece together a useful wiki-type page with frequently asked questions so that when people are asking the same questions day in, day out, we can point them towards existing literature rather than rehashing the same answers. So big efficiency improvement there. Hopefully it'll make things a lot easier to use. We're working actively on OpenBazaar integration. So if you're not sure what OpenBazaar is, it's a peer-to-peer e-commerce platform that operates with no fees and accepts quite a few cryptocurrencies as payment. So we're looking to have Zencash added to that list of available options. So send receive is working well, and we're debugging through exception workflow as we speak. Onto Ledger. So everybody is always asking where we're at with Ledger. They're making really good progress. So send receive is working. We're testing it with real funds. It seems to be working really well. It's an internal test for the time being, but we'll be moving into a public test in the coming weeks. Alan, are you available to talk through the Secure Node update?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. On you go.
Thank you. Growth continues on the nodes. We now have 7,500 registered nodes that are part of the tracking system. We still have ongoing development during all the feedback we're getting from beta and all the information that's coming in through the new help desk ticket system. On some of the issues, like refining the tracker connections, we're still getting a few phantom downtimes, but the count of those is way down, so there's still a couple of issues to work out on that. We're working on making some changes to the challenge system to be able to support the next step in scaling, which would be from moving from a server-centric to a regional-centric type of setup for the website and for the nodes themselves. Still working on other minor fixes, working on the help desk system itself, working on claims that are coming in. And we're going to be announcing some sort of cutoff date for the claims at some point. So if you have something that happened since we started the payment system and want to make a claim, please get that in soon so we can get that processed. Also, on the tracker versions, we're now enforcing the 0.2.1 version. There are still about 182 nodes out there on version 0.1.0, and with the enforcement, they are no longer really eligible for payments. Done a great job on getting 0.2.0 out, so there's only 21 of those left. And another note, just to emphasize, on the new version of Zen, that the nodes also need to be updated on this. There's still over half the nodes that are on the prior version. And as a reminder, that these nodes with a self-deprecating feature in it will simply exit at that point and stop working. So be sure to update those. And the date's a little bit different on this one. I have April 12th. That's probably the last, that's probably the day that the last block will be mined, where 2.0.10 will be working. So please get those updated. Back to you, Rowan.
Perfect. Thank you. Great to see that many nodes in the network. So if you're one of the people that set up a node, huge thank you for that. Rosario, are you available to talk through the marketing slides?
I sure am. Are you going to talk about research and development?
Oh, sorry, I'm skipping ahead.
Yeah.
Of course. So research and development, although I just skipped past it, believe it or not, is massively important to us as an organization. So we have two sides of this. We have our external R&D team, which is IOHK, Input Output Hong Kong, And we also have our internal research teams working on a couple of different projects. So IOHK are currently working on the treasury and governance models and testing theoretical voting value committees of 1,000, 10,000 and 100,000 people. At the moment, the feedback we're receiving is that those numbers are entirely practical, so that's really good news. On the scaling front, we're still investigating whether to go along with something like Spectre or Phantom, which is moving to a kind of block-based DAG protocol. IOHK are getting pretty close to deciding which way we're going to move on that, so we'll hear more about that in the coming weeks. We have 2 internal teams spun up, one working on ZenHide, which is our domain fronting service. They have draft specs in revision and proof of concept in progress, so we've made some really, really good progress there in the past couple of weeks. The second team spun up on ZenPub much more recently, so they're still in the specification stage, and we'll hear more about that reasonably soon. Rosario?
Thank you, Rowan. All right, so this is the first time I am on the biweekly, so I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Rosario Pabst, and I'm the marketing director for Zencash. I wanted to set the stage on new users or the community that are wondering how we are doing marketing, what our strategy is. So we have several pillars and that we constantly tweak and adjust and are looking through. So one of those is our public relations. This is working with our Waxman PR team, and they are our interface and help us get communication out through our mainstream media. So anytime you see an article in any crypto news or mainstream media, it comes from Waxman PR, and we're really, really happy to have them on board and helping us through. Most recently, they've, if you haven't seen this article, you really should read it on nasdaq.com about the commentary on cryptocurrencies. So this is the type of effort that Waxman does. But along with that, we have social media, which is a very, very big part of communicating with our different channels in cryptocurrencies and whatnot. So we have Crypto Media Hub helping us do this, and they've been doing a fantastic job. And the next slides, I'm going to present just the numbers of our growth for social media channels. But we've also been adding additional internal team members to the team. So if you go to our website, zencash.com, you'll see that marketing team, internal team members have Lucy Bruce, Madar, and Ross, Lindsay, and Linda, and Marco for our graphic design. So all of this to say that we have an increased focus on marketing, and that's been reflected on the recent website, our growth, and our numbers. So when I look at these, I'm evaluating, constantly looking at the numbers, and without data, without context is meaningless, meaning that we can have numbers, but we need to put the context together and see what's working, what's not working, and that's part of our evaluation. So for social media, you may see we're experimenting with lower count of text and increasing on video and pictures and that type of thing. But we're constantly refining. So if you think of something that we should be doing, please let me know. We need to constantly look at improving. And the base that holds all those pillars together is our grassroots efforts. So we are a community project, and our community, that's how we started. So we want to continue expanding our grassroots base, and we have made our leading that effort in our different channels. So we have increased postings and in Reddit, and reaching out to YouTubers that want to hear about Zencash and providing information to them, and of course, Bitcoin Talk. So marketing team is expanding and doing a lot to take the word out for Zen. One of our focus for this year, and we announced it earlier in January, is expanding to the China market. So Lucy has been focused on researching the China market, and she has extreme knowledge of it. So as well, what we found is that it is an untapped market for cryptocurrencies. So now we are implementing and developing an action plan to start reaching out. So we are accepting that challenge and going forward. Next slide, please. All right, so these are the numbers for our social media. They look fantastic. Really, really happy for that. Well, you'll notice that in August is when we first started doing a concerted effort in growing our social media channels, and you've seen a steady growth in those going forward. You see a peak in the January timeframe. This is when we had that announcement with IOHK with our research and development. So obviously, we had a boost and new people that are joining us out, perhaps from the Cardano or any of the other IOHK types of channels. So you see it tapering off, but still continuing the growth. So our focus is going to be continuing to expand the growth effort. Right now we have about 1,000 followers per month, increasing. And it's been tapering off a little bit, so we need to evaluate what's working, what's not working, and see if it's just a result of the cryptocurrency interest that's out there, or if it's just focused on us. So we are looking at the numbers. Next slide, please. So 2 weeks ago, we had the cool new website. If you haven't gone to the website, please check it out, zencash.com. And what we've noticed with the website is that we have a 28% drop in bounce rate. That tells me that the content is great, right? That we have more people that are staying on the website longer and reviewing the website. So that is great feedback for us. And of course, the community has been instrumental in improving the website. So if you see something, please let us know, and we are constantly improving. So the website is probably 80 to 90% done and complete. But what I'd like is to continue improving that. So you'll see that coming forward. So the next focus for us is improving our SEO, and of course, adding our blog as a subdirectory, just so we could, instead of directing people outside of our website, that we keep people within our website, which will improve our tracking and analytics. So we also did a boosted post on social media for announcing the website. So we had a very high relevance score of 9, which means that people are engaging and doing a lot with the post. So this is great to hear. And also, this is another little plug for social media. Help us continue growing by liking, sharing, retweeting our posts. Next slide, please. And this continuing the engagement for marketing is doing. So this is kind of the grassroots effort, and also doing promotion. So we had an AMA with Rolf. He answered about 50 questions in about an hour. So hopefully he didn't get any carpal tunnel during that time frame. But if you want to check out his answers, please go to our subreddit, ZenSys, and just check out those. Part of the promotion for the AMAs and engagement, right, is we did posts before. We had a cool video that Lucy put together. And what we're doing is we post before, we post during, and then after, just to keep that engagement going. So I think that was highly effective. So along with that, we also had the OKEx campaign. So OKEx is a big is one of our main partners with in exchange, and we had a campaign, and we're evaluating the results over time. So it's not going to be easy just to see over a day. So this is something that we're going to be monitoring over a period of time, is to see what works, what didn't work, and if it continues working, then doing that going forward. Next slide, please. Okay, so with that, Rowan, my slide screen just went off. So do you remind me what the next slide is?
Sure. We're on to Zen Style, our merch store.
Oh, yeah. So the Zen Style, this is, we've heard our community. Every time I go to a conference or even on Discord, I hear our community members asking for merchandise. So we've been working on this for a while. It's just, we've had other priorities. So the store is 90% complete, and Lucy is doing just beautifying the store a little bit, and also adding merchandise that is going to be both fun and also the standard merchandise. So the pictures that you see here on this slide are for our super fans that want to just have the fun type of merchandise. So I always hear the secure node operators and the miners asking for merchandise. So guys and gals, this is for you. Hope you like it, and really excited to have this coming forward in the next few weeks. So we'll have big announcements then. And I believe this is my last slide. So back to you, Rowan.
Thank you very much. Really looking forward to getting my hands on one of those books. They look really cool. So next up is our country lead updates. So we're going to kick these off with David for the Russian and Eastern European market. David, are you available?
Yes, sir. Right here. Hello, everyone. I was just thinking about it, that I think that Rob and Rolf are achieving the first step in their goal of decentralizing everything at Zencash. What I mean is that we're doing just fine without them. So I think that's a first step. Anyway, talk about a little bit about the activity in Russia. Well, I want to recap about the Bitcoin Russia 2018, where we went exactly 2 weeks ago. And what I mean exactly, I mean like to the hour, because as you remember, Alex presented last meeting because I was speaking at that time, didn't get a chance to comment on it. So we certainly had a lot of useful contacts stopping by, getting to know Zen on that day. One of the interesting things that really stood out I wanted to mention is that there's a lot of companies there that were mostly ICOs that, as you know, not judging anything here, rather just the principle of the ICO is that there's a lot of promise for the future, and there's this, grand sort of plan of what people are going to do. And when people were stopping by at Zencash and they realized we're not ICO, we actually have done a lot of stuff, they were really excited, and I didn't even think about it until they themselves point out, oh yeah, you're already trading on these many exchanges, you already have this much stuff done. I'm like, great, we're in definitely standing out amongst many others from that angle. So that was great. Going forward with my talk was very interesting in a large sort of a nightclub where all the VIPs went, and I found myself like a DJ almost. And one of the interesting moments I really wanted to mention is that I basically made a punchline that I believe that Zencash is the best privacy platform and most decentralized one on the planet Earth. And I said, hey, you guys, a lot of smart crypto savvy people here. Tell me if you think there's anything that's better. And there was a silence, and finally one guy said, Bitcoin private. And I'm like, well, good thought, except that doesn't exist yet. So it wasn't out at that time. So there was a nice laugh afterwards. Anyway, I think everything went well. Another point I wanted to make is that I was really pleased that we had a leader of the developer team from Belarus literally drive 6 hours to meet with us while we were there. When he heard that we were in Moscow, he didn't miss a chance to have this face-to-face meeting, and they are already working on one of our internal projects as almost like a subcontractors, I could say, and they're doing a great job. So that's about the conference recap. We've had a really big, literally, the guy didn't even start going. He started running from the first day at Turkey. As you remember, we onboarded Ahmet 2 weeks ago, and he's already arranged a meetup. You see some pictures from there. But more importantly, he sent me all the activity that he has done. It was like 20 links where he has posted Zencash either as part of the news or some links on different websites, and you see one of them in the right lower corner is some random shopping website, and Zencash is showing up there. I mean, it's a Turkish website. So then there's many more others. I just don't have a space to post it up there. Another interesting update, those who remember Zen Monetbot, it's basically a little gadget in your Telegram channel that would notify you when you had payments coming across to your wallet from the secure nodes. Well, now we have a really neat feature that, by the way, it was promised and now it's delivered, that it would be notifying you for no downtime. So if for some reason you're asleep, well, hopefully you can mute it, but you're somewhere else and you cannot be checking your node every half an hour. Well, it will notify you if it's been down more than 30 minutes. And North Dakota, as most people probably know by now on Telegram, is the leader developer in this, and you guys can ask him if you have any specific questions about that. Another news that you have not heard yet before is partnership with Oleg Charbunov, and we're really fortunate. This guy is basically a large enterprise level marketing guru who has his Instagram channel with over 80,000 strong followers. I mean, that's a lot. And he routinely creates a content for federal level customers in Russia, I mean, as well as a very large private companies that are national, and kind of pushes out through his Instagram channel. So check him out. It's really, really neat content, really pleasing and very aesthetic. And this is not some future plan. We actually already have an agreement, and we are literally working on our first sort of presenting visit card, what we're going to publish, video versus pictures versus some animation, etc. So it's already in works. Last but not the least, as you know, the largest country in largest country in Europe that's fully in Europe is not Russia, it's actually Ukraine. So we definitely needed somebody who is on the ground in Ukraine. So I'm already working with one guy there who is keeping his name private for now until everything is formalized. But he's a very experienced miner. He has built like 200 different mines for many private customers, many of which have actually mined Zencash. So it's another big fan of Zencash. That helps a lot, because it's one thing when you onboard somebody who is a good person, hard worker, but if they're not experienced with cryptocurrency or especially Zencash, then it's kind of slow start. But as it was demonstrated by, for example, Turkish lead Ahmet, it really helps to have somebody who is already part of the community and knows what they're doing, basically. And he is one of those guys. So I think that's about it. Rowan, back to you.
Fantastic. Great update as always. Thank you very much. And I think you might be on to J. David. It's got a good ring to it. So okay. Next up is the Central European market. Arno is currently actually presenting in Mitwalda, so he's presenting on ICOs in respect to German law, so I'm going to run through his slide for him. The French and Belgium Facebook groups have been created, so thanks to @Yunzo and @Colonel for the help with those. Arno's still looking for a country rep for the Netherlands, and Arno and Felipe are working on editing some content from the Crypto Asset Conference, which was just recently in Frankfurt. Angie, are you available to talk through the Mexican market?
Hello there. How are you guys? Well, we had a very good the previous weeks. We attended BlockTech in Tech de Monterrey, which was these really cool kind of like conferences talking about the blockchain and different topics. And we had one conference that we attended. It was really interesting because we kind of like had some insights from Maria Perez. She's a manager of authorizations and regulations in the Bank of Mexico. And she was talking about the upcoming fintech law, which is very important in Mexico. Right now, maybe some of you have seen some news in different channels and newspapers that what's happening with the Mexican government and how they're going to try to regulate cryptocurrencies. So it was really good to kind of like follow their steps and to see how this is going to impact, of course, the Mexican and Latin American markets. So it was great to attend to that event, and let's see how we can improve the whole business and marketing stuff, the things we are doing here in our country, and of course how this is going to impact us in the future events and in the future things that we are doing. We are right now creating strategies to include Zencash and of course grow the presence in Mexico and Latin America. We're going to start participating with some other crypto enthusiasts based on different cities. So we're trying to kind of like reach out to them and include ourselves in there. So it's going to be also interesting to see what the events and things we are doing with them in the last couple of weeks. The website translation to Spanish is in progress. Right now it's maybe about an 85 or almost 90% ready. So just adding some final touches. Ruben is helping us a lot with this. So let's see that hopefully we have this finished soon. So the website translation can be ready. Of course, for all of our people that speak Spanish. And we have next week, finally, our first Zencash meetup here in Monterrey, Mexico. It's coming up next week on March 15. Rolf will be attending us. He's going to be joining us, remotely. And he's going to start, of course, giving his presentation about Zencash and some mining stuff. We are expecting about maybe 50 or 60 people. It's going to be kind of like a cool event. Zencash is going to be, of course, we're going to sponsor the event. We're going to give some food and drinks to people to talk about Zencash and spread the word a little bit. So we're just finishing some last touches in there, and we hope to have a lot of nice people in here next week and talk to them, reach out to them, and well, let's see how it goes. Hopefully everything, it's going to be great in the event. We're going to take a lot of pictures, have fun with people, and communicate and bring the Zencash message to all of them. I think from my side, that's it. And thank you, guys.
Thanks, Angie. That sounds absolutely brilliant. I'm sure it's going to be a great event. Over to Andreas for the Scandinavian market.
Thanks, Ron. Good evening, everybody. Here's a short update from my region. 2 days ago, I attended a small local meetup here in Kristiansand where I did a Zencash presentation, and I also got to talk to a lot of people who attended the meetup. We talked about Zencash and crypto, and we had a really, really great evening. Lots of interest around the projects, which was really inspiring. Currently, we're growing the Scandinavian resources team. We are starting up with a new professional media and video production team from Norway and Sweden, who will help us to get out the great vibes of Zencash to the Nordic countries and to the rest of the world. This is really exciting stuff, and we will be working very closely together with the marketing department team on this. And we expect to see some really nice things coming from this production team in the following months. Last but not least, I will be expanding the region I'm covering. I will be a regional representative for the Nordic countries and the Baltic countries. And those countries includes Iceland and Finland and Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia. And if anybody from those countries needs to reach me, you can reach me through my email listed on this slide. So that's the short update from me. Thanks, and back to you, Rowan.
Thank you, Andreas. Before Rowan steps back in, I was wanting to highlight, I forgot to mention that we have a super cool competition going on. It's called Zenspiration. So this is about, we had a competition earlier this year. We found out that people just had absolutely a lot of talent within our community. And I personally even enjoyed looking at these on my downtime, just when I'm scrolling through my social media. So we have Zenspiration, and this is anything visual, image, short video, posted on our social media channels. Please submit your submissions by the 13th of March and have fun with it, guys. This is something that's going to be amazing. So the prizes that we have is, for the first prize, we have 5 Zen. Second prize is 3 Zen, and the third price 2 Zen. So let us know how Zen inspires you and what's your Zenspiration. Back to you, Rowan. Thank you.
Ace, thank you. So just to tidy things up here, last slide for today is our upcoming events and conferences. So I mentioned at the start of this that Rob and Rolf are over at Seraph Global Investment Group in Austin. So if you're in the area today or tomorrow, please drop on by and say hello to the guys there. We'll also be at the Crypto Investor Show in London this Saturday. We're going to be there in force. There's going to be a whole bunch of us there. Myself, Rob, Linda, Luca's coming over from Italy. We'll also have Mac and JCP. So it'll be a really good turnout there. You can buy your tickets in Zen. The event is in the QE2, which is just right across from Westminster, right in the centre of London. If you're going to be nearby, please come in and say hello. And then lastly, the Front Range Crypto Mining Meetup in Colorado is on March 14th. So that finishes everything off for the slide pack for today. We've now got a little bit of time to answer some questions. If anybody has any, if they could post them up in either Discord or YouTube, that would be great. So I can see a question there from Monko. Does Zcash overwinter hard fork impact Zencash at all? Do we have devs seeing what's being done by Zcash to see if we can adopt good practices? So the short answer to that is yes, absolutely. We have devs constantly looking at upstream and merging everything that makes sense to merge. I don't currently have the YouTube open just now. Zencheck, are you seeing any questions we need to answer from there?
Actually, see one, Rowan, if I may. The person there.
Okay, so it looks like a question from YouTube is Daryl Periani. Any plans on getting added to Shapeshift? And I believe Rob has answered this before. Is yes, we do have a open communication line, but Rowan.
Sure, absolutely. We need to get onto Shapeshift. I mean, the bottom line is that we want to be on as many different platforms as we possibly can, and we want to make it as easy as possible for people to get their hands on Zen. We have an open communication line with the guys at Shapeshift. It's not going to be a quick fix, but we are working on it, and hopefully we'll have some news on that front in the coming months.
And Adalex had another question about Operation Radical Transparency.
Sure. So we have quite recently stood up a finance function within Zencash, and a big part of their job going forward is going to be creating systems that allow us to share and be completely transparent about everything that we spend community funds on. So that team is quite fresh and quite new. They have basically got to start from the ground up in implementing all sorts of different systems, but we will have more about that very soon, and it won't be too long until we can share that with the community.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. If I may say something, actually, I see a question about the Turkish meetup. And yes, I suppose it's by Yakta Gulen, if you can hear me. We have a person in Turkey, his name is Ahmet, and he runs a large Facebook group called Bitcoin and Altcoin Turkey. And I'll post the website in Discord, I believe, where everybody can see. So you can connect with him and, attend the next meetup, etc., etc. But you can also easily find it in the Facebook search bar. If you just simply type in Bitcoin and Altcoin Turkey, he'll come up as well. And I was kind of had a little smirk when you guys asked about Shapeshift after 2 weeks of a kind of waiting time. We had given Shapeshift a lot of documents to more like internal communications. They just wrote me back with a concrete plan about 10 minutes ago. So it was kind of creepy. Does somebody know that they just wrote me back? And it was not like we emailed 3 times a day. I've been waiting for a little while. So there's an update there right there. I think that's all.
Excellent. Well, we were aiming for 30 minutes today. We're now at 40, which is pretty close. So I think we should probably just wrap things up there, unless there's any last minute questions in Discord.
I'm not seeing any additional questions, Rowan.
Fantastic. In that case, thank you to everyone that's taken the time to tune in. We will speak to you again in 2 weeks' time. Take care.
Thank you.